The Wealth of Some Nations, Chapter 3, Monopoly Rent. Competition between businesses results in ever higher degrees of capital concentration, and in production and distribution becoming controlled by one or a few giant conglomerates, that is, monopolies or oligopolies. A monopoly is a capitalist enterprise which is able to dominate national production, setting high prices for its products so as to maximize profits. The term monopoly, as used herein, does not connote the occupation of a particular industry or branch of industry by a single firm, but rather the transformation of capitalism from a mode of production wherein more or less free competition between firms obtained in its advanced centers, to one in which giant firms, trusts, and cartels control the market. In this chapter, we will explore the various ways in which the development of monopoly capitalism as a global mode of production, what Amin has called generalized monopoly capitalism, facilitates value transfer from the exploited to the exploiting nations. Monopoly engenders intense international competition in sales markets, in raw materials markets, and in spheres of capital investment, with rival national capitals compelled to seek larger captive markets abroad. A further motivation for overseas expansion by monopoly capital is to exploit cheaper foreign labor power. In the process, ever larger shares of the imperialist country's, quote, national wealth is created abroad and transferred home by a variety of means, debt servicing, profit repatriation, and unequal exchange being the three principal ones. As noted above, if the growth in the organic composition of capital, C divided by V, is greater than the growth in the rate of surplus value, S divided by V, that is, if technological advance is occurring at a faster rate than is the exploitation of labor, the rate of profit will fall. The central problem of capital valorization in the age of monopoly, then, is the production of extra surplus value, the appropriation of which is principally based on, quote, monopoly rent. Monopoly rent is defined by Amin as the difference between the price of production, the cost of production plus the average rate of profit, and the actual market price where that is not set by the average rate of profit, but by the cartels and corporations dominating the production and sale of commodities. Monopolies can conclude agreements among themselves to restrict output, allocate market share, and impose price markups on production costs, especially on raw materials and wages. Though competition normally forces down the prices of the output of relatively productive labor, monopoly ensures that this does not occur and that its products are overvalued when exchanged internationally. Conversely, the prices of Global South goods are rendered far lower than they would be in the absence of price fixing, transfer pricing, monopoly, whereby the rich countries are the only seller of certain key commodities, especially of advanced electronic and military technology, and monopsony, whereby the rich countries are the single major buyer of much of the Third World's output. Effectively, the technological and commercial monopolies of the major imperialist countries ensure that non-monopoly producers are only able to compete in labor-intensive, low, quote, value-added sectors, in which the countries of the Global South compete with one another in a veritable race to the bottom. End section.